Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm here with my assistant. My daughter, Marissa, who has agreed to help me with my live today. So she's going to ask me all the questions the top 10 questions that is frequently asked for about a destination wedding. Mm-hmm. So she is going to be my assistant. She's going to read the questions and I am going to try my best to answer them. So, you ready to start? I would like you to start, Marissa.
Okay. The very first question is, when is final payment due?
When is final payment due? That is based on each resort will have their own due dates, but most likely the final payment is due 45 to 60 days before the day of the wedding. So that's something you need to do. And by that time, your guest list should have been finalized and paid. So everything goes hand in hand. You'll know exactly how many people you're going to have at your wedding and when the payment is due for your wedding. You're always going to have people 45 days in said, oh my God, I want to go to your wedding. So that's something you got to be prepared for, because there's always going to be people coming out of the woodwork who just remembered that, oh my God, your wedding is next month. I want to go. So always keep that in mind when you're thinking about your final due date and what that means.
Okay. The second question is, why do I have to pay an additional guest fee at an all-inclusive resort?
Good question, Marissa. And the reason why you have to pay the additional fee at an all-inclusive for a wedding, because that's a private event. You know, at an all-inclusive, the restaurants and the bars are all there for you to use, but at their scheduled time. If you're having a private event, that additional staff will have to come to help be at your event. That's going to require additional costs. That's why the weddings you just don't go to a resort and say, I'm going to get married and sell it. Not going to cost anything. The setup for your ceremony, for your cocktail hour, and for your reception is all part of the cost of having your wedding there. So that is going to be an additional cost. And it's not because you're in an all-inclusive. It's because you're having a private event at the resort.
Number 3 is, what happens if I have guests staying at another property?
That's always going to happen. People are going to, you tell them you're going to have a destination wedding in Jamaica. You didn't tell them where you're going to have it, and they start booking. So you're always going to have guests that are going to be off property. Try to stop that, because that's going to also affect your group contract, and you probably won't have enough rooms booked if people are booking rooms on their own or through Expedia or book it because they saw it cheaper for $100. So you got to be careful to make sure you tell all your guests that they have to book through whoever you have controlling your room booking. If guests are staying on an off-site property, there is going to be a day pass fee that you have to pay to have them come on property, because since it's all inclusive, they have to pay for that 1 day pass to come to your wedding. So it's going to be the cost of the day pass plus the cost of them attending your wedding. So it's going to be almost a double whammy if they're not staying on property.
Number 4 is, can you bring your own photographer or videographer?
Yes and no. Most resorts will allow you to bring an outside vendor. It's just going to be an additional cost. So, and you need to make sure, tell the resort ahead of time to make sure that they approve it, because they have their own in-house videographer and photographer, which they might want you to use their vendors and not outside vendors. Another thing is that if the vendor is staying at the resort for three nights, they're part of your guests, you might not have to pay an outside vendor fee, but these are things you have to discuss with the resort that you're having your wedding, so you'll know ahead of time if it's going to cost you to have them come on property, or you can bring them if you want to bring your own personal videography or photography or any other vendors to have service at your wedding.
So it's an additional cost. Like you have to pay for them to come on the property?
You have to pay the outside vendor fee, plus you probably have to pay them to be part of your wedding, and a cost because you have to feed them when you're
plus
there.
Plus insurance and all that other fun stuff whenever outside vendors go onto the property.
Yes, and that's why they kind of like shun away from outside vendors. They always prefer it's
more work for them.
It is more work for them, and then you're taking away also income from them because you're bringing someone else in.
Gotcha. All right. The next question is, what's the difference between a legal civil ceremony or a symbolic wedding?
Okay. That's a question that's always asked. Symbolic wedding is easy. That means you're already married. And most symbolic weddings, people are either have gotten married before and never had their wedding of their dream, and then they're just doing a retie the knot. or a vow renewal. So it doesn't require any additional work for you. All you probably have to do is send a copy of your marriage license to the resort so they know that you're actually married. For a legal or civil ceremony, it requires a whole lot of documentation because you are going to be legally married in the country that you're having your wedding. So they're going to require, I spoke about this on my other live that I did. So, copy of your passport, your birth certificate, legal documents. And then these documents need to be in at the resort within at least 3 months before your wedding. So the resort will apply for the license. So it'll be there when you're getting married. So these are things that you need to know that you have to send these documents in on time. Otherwise you won't have a legal wedding on resort. The other thing is when you get married in these particular countries, it's going to take you a long time to get the actual marriage license. It takes 6 to 8 weeks to get it, depending on the resort. So that's something, if you're looking for your license right away, you're not going to have it.
Okay, so the next question is, what happens if it rains on my wedding day?
Oh, if it rains, just too bad. I don't know what you're going to do. But there is always a plan B. And a plan B would most likely be if it's heavy rain in a ballroom. Most resort, and I've seen this because I was at a wedding that it rained during the morning, and what they do, they check the weather report to see how long it's going to rain. But they know the weather more than we do because they live in there, so they're going to advise you to either bring it indoor or take your chances. And if you do take your chances, they're going to have you sign a waiver because when it starts raining, they can't move all that decor that they put up inside in time. So most of them are saying, we'll move you inside, but your decor is going to stay outside. So it's a decision the couple will have to make on that day, whether they go forward with the wedding outside if it's raining or take it into a ballroom or someplace that is covered. So yes, there is always a plan B, but you have to, you want a beach wedding, you want a beach wedding.
The next question is, where do I get my hair and makeup done?
Oh, that's a good question. Most resort have a spa or a salon there that you can get your hair and makeup done. You can either have it done at a salon or in your room, depending on the resort and if they have the resources to do that. So most resort will have a trial, meaning the day before, you'll get your hair done and your makeup to make sure it's to your liking. So on your wedding day, you're not, oh my God, this doesn't look good. It'll give you a chance to make sure that the makeup is the right one for you or the hairstyle that you want. They can actually do it for you. So you have that choice. Most people sometimes bring their own makeup artists and hair and they do it in their room. So that can be done also.
Can I press this or will it do something?
No, that's end.
No, this.
Yes, you can see the comment.
Okay. The next question is, how far in advance should I be planning my destination wedding?
You should plan as soon as possible, at least 9 to 12 months out, because it just takes time to plan. And also it gives your guests time to actually see if they can attend your wedding because it costs money. So you always want to give your guests enough notice so they know you're going to have a destination wedding in 9 months. It's going to cost me $3,000. How am I going to pay for this to attend your wedding? So you do want to give your guests time to see if they can afford to come to your wedding, and also give you time also to plan all the things you need to plan because it's away from home. So it's just going to take a little bit longer to plan. And also the thing you can think about when you send out your invitation, at least 80% of people are going to say yes. So in your head, if like I'm inviting 100 people, at least 80 is going to show up. So be prepared for that amount of people showing up at your wedding.
All righty. The next question is, how much does a destination wedding cost?
Ooh, destination wedding costs. That is a question I can't answer. I don't know. It all depends on what your vision is. Each resort, have different wedding packages. There are some free wedding packages. And what does that mean? You can get married for free, but that's all you're going to get. You're going to get a ceremony and maybe get a dinner at a restaurant. But if you're bringing guests with you and you want a real wedding, what I mean by a real wedding, you want to get married, have a ceremony, have a cocktail and a reception. That to me is a real wedding because you're doing everything from soup to nut. So it all depends. As for most, what I've seen is a destination wedding could cost under $10,000, but it all depends on your vision, where you want it, the decor you want, the entertainment you want, the video package that you want. All those are going to add up, and it could be at 10,000 or a little bit above 10,000, but that's the range that I've seen. Also, they've said that a destination wedding costs definitely less than if you have a traditional wedding at home. So that's the plus, is that it's going to cost a little bit less than doing it at home.
And then the last question is, what is the difference between a wedding planner, a wedding coordinator, and a destination wedding specialist?
That is a great question. I get that question.
I wrote it myself.
You wrote it yourself? Oh, thank you so much. Well, a wedding planner, I'm going to say there's two types of wedding planners. There's the wedding planner that's at the resort, that these are the people you're going to talk to before you actually get to resort. So they're going to ask you what your vision is, your menu. You're going to go through all the things you want for your wedding. And that's the resort wedding planner. There's also a wedding planner that you can hire if you're doing your wedding at, say, a venue, and you want somebody to coordinate all the various vendors that's going to be there, catering, photographer. So you rented out a venue and you want all the different vendors there. You hire a wedding planner to help you organize that, vet all the vendors, get contracts. So you're paying them to organize and coordinate that, and they're going to be there on site for your wedding to make sure everything runs smoothly. A wedding coordinator, to me, is the person that is on property, the wedding department that's on property. They're going to take whatever the wedding planner put in place, and this is what she wants, and actually execute it. So when you get on property, you're going to meet with the wedding coordinator. They're going to walk you through the ceremony location, show you, maybe give a sample of the dinner menu. They're going to walk you through the actual wedding process and what's going to happen. So they're going to tell you what's going to happen when you get on property. And normally you meet with them either the day after you get there, and they'll walk you through that. Most people, ask if there's a rehearsal for the ceremony. Normally there isn't a rehearsal for the ceremony. What they'll do is tell you, show you where the wedding ceremony is going to be. And if you have a wedding party, you can probably go there and kind of do a little walkthrough yourself, but there's no official, say, wedding ceremony rehearsal to make sure you know what you're doing on your wedding day. A destination wedding specialist, which is normally a travel agent specialized in destination wedding, which is what I do. What's different about me is like, I'm going to work with the couple to help them actually find their destination wedding location, walk them through their wedding packages, group contracts. So my job is to hopefully relieve their stress and overwhelm, and just to help them plan and implement their wedding for them, coordinate all their guests. So my job would be just to, be their hot eyes and ears, help them through that process. So that's I'm not planning the wedding. I can help you plan the wedding, but that's not what I do. I more coordinate what you need to do to plan your wedding. So that's where I come in. Cool. So the question I'm going to ask you, you've been a wedding guest at least 3 destination weddings. Right. One in Mexico, you're in Turks and Caicos, and you're actually at my wedding. As a wedding guest, what is it that you take away from attending destination wedding? Is there anything that you like, anything you think could change? Like what as your opinion as a wedding guest?
I feel like for a destination wedding, it's more than just that one day and that one part of the ceremony. You get a trip out of it as a guest.
That's nice.
And 2, usually there's other events happening. So the whole trip feels like it's about this couple, and we're here for this wedding and the ceremony. So as a guest, it's nice to feel like, okay, I can enjoy my vacation, but there's also things that the couple and the resort has planned for us to do. So whether it's a cocktail hour, like a little cocktail happy hour situation before the day before, and then the ceremony itself and the dinner and everything just feels extra special. And it's definitely something that I'll always remember the 3 that I went to. It's not just in that Rolodex of weddings of everyone does a ballroom or a catering hall and it all kind of looks the same. You feel like, okay, I'm always going to remember the wedding in Jamaica that we did on the island at the restaurant. I'll always remember in Turks and Caicos, and I'll always remember the wedding on the beach in Cancun, because it's just different and it will stand out in my mind forever.
Okay, so it's a long-lasting memory for the guests coming there. Get to be with your family and friends, and just being a joyous occasion. As you said, it's not over a 4-hour thing like a regular traditional wedding. It's a longer weekend. You just get to hang out and just be happy. So, if you're ever thinking about doing a destination wedding, I would say go for it, because memories, you can't buy memories. No. Or you can't, it's just a wonderful thing. So I want to thank my daughter Marissa, my assistant in training, for helping me with this live. And I'm supposed to talk about next week, or not next week, we're in next week, today's Sunday. Monday, I don't know what I'm covering yet, because I have so many topics in my head. So I will definitely let you know on tonight or Monday morning what my lives are going to be. And my lives are all going to be at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I will definitely let you know what my topics are going to be for the lives. So thank you for whoever is on, because I really can't see the name. Whoever tuned into this live, thank you so much. And if this information was helpful, please give me a thumbs up or a like. Or if you're watching this on a replay, just put #replay just to let me know that you watched it. Also, if you have any other questions that is burning and you need answers to, please leave them in a comment. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Sunday. We're enjoying our Sunday. Who's cooking today?
It's not me.
Daddy's cooking today. So we're free, which is like very rare. But my husband is out there cooking up a storm. So we can't wait to have dinner. So bye and see you on Monday at 3.
See ya. I'll end it for you.
Thank you.